Hello and welcome to another episode of One Fall WrestleCast Live. Tom and I are here to discuss a action-packed pro wrestling weekend with AEW All In, NXT Great American Bash, Saturday Night's main event, and WWE Evolution 2. Plenty of fallout to come from all four of those events. Tom and I are going to get into it. We're going to break it down. Catch you on the other side.
Welcome to the One Fall WrestleCast.
What's up, dude?
Nada. Well, I mean, a lot. Obviously, I watched a lot of wrestling.
I watched what I could.
Much to the chagrin of my family, there was a lot of wrestling on this weekend. The only thing I didn't see at least part of was SmackDown, because if you're planning to watch wrestling for the next 3 days straight, or 2 days, I guess, sometimes you have to go out and do stuff on a Friday night. So, did not see SmackDown. Obviously saw the recaps. Didn't feel like I missed much. Yeah, but had a good weekend. Great weekend even. It was fantastic. Whenever there's a lot of wrestling on in a weekend, I feel like my weekend is significantly better than if it were otherwise.
It stresses me out. You know, like I know that I have to watch all of this stuff in order to come in here and have compelling conversation with you. But you know, there's weekends like this weekend where it was hell on wheels for me from the time I woke up on Friday morning until the time I went to bed last night. And you know, I've just not really had a whole lot of time. I did get to watch Saturday night's main event. I did watch SmackDown. I touched on Great American Bash. Didn't really see too much there. Started Evolution last night when I got home, and I fell asleep before the opening vignette ran, which is extremely weird for me. Woke up this morning, tried to watch it, and fell asleep during the opening vignette again. So I guess I just wasn't meant to watch it today. But I will watch it. I do plan on watching it because by all accounts, it was the greatest PLE that WWE has put on in 2025.
It every match over delivered. I had extremely high expectations going in, and I felt that every match over delivered.
You know, I text you on Saturday night, and it was right after the thing happened with, and obviously it was many hours later because I was working and doing the whole thing. But I texted you on Saturday night and I said, man, I'm really looking forward to Evolution. And it was right after Naomi attacked Jade Cargill ringside. And it's like, man, they did a really, really good job, like giving that final push, you know, for it. And it definitely hit me with the old hook, line, and sinker.
So we'll get into it, but so a lot of the complaints rolling into this was that it didn't get enough build, or that didn't get enough build, or whatever. But going into it, especially if you're listening to what commentary has to say and you are like kind of really thinking about, you know, where all of these feuds came from, I felt that like everything really did have some legs and some time behind it. It maybe wasn't like a like thing that was visited week in, week out, but there was a lot of like inklings of things, and there was a lot of history brought up. Just, you know, for the main event in particular was something to think about, where you have, you know, Rhea Ripley and Io Sky, and, you know, commentary sort of is like, Rhea's never beat Io. It's never happened. And they went back and like they faced each other, whatever, 6-7 times. And Rhea's never been able to overcome her. You know, some of those have been screwy finishes, and WWE does that quite a bit. But you know, it ends up once you get to the point where it's like, no, Io has beaten Rhea anytime there's been a pinfall, which I think is only 2 or 3 times out of all of those, because the rest of them ended a little screwy, with some sort of like.
I think it was like 3 or 4.
Right. But the point stands is that they've never defeated each other. And if you think about it hard enough, it's like, wow, well, so there was this like babyface versus babyface thing that happened pre-WrestleMania. So like this main event really has been building since before WrestleMania. And then same thing with the Intercontinental title match, and even the tag title matches, that triple threat, which I thought was great. Even that had some good legs behind it, just with everything that's been going on with the Judgment Day, in and out, getting so many segments, so much time. I think that they've really done a good job of just sort of developing these characters, and to where like this person does get along with this person, doesn't get along with this person. This is sketchy. What's going on here? It felt like, they didn't really have to it didn't have to be like the WWE of the old days, where like they had to, before the Royal Rumble, everybody had to have a segment where they threw somebody over the top rope, right? Or before like a big ladder match show, somebody had to climb a ladder and show that they could sit on top of a ladder or something like that. It really felt like, okay, hey, if you've been watching this year, we're going to reward your loyalty. But even if you haven't been, listen to commentary, watch our little, vignettes going into the matches, and you'll be caught up enough, and you're going to enjoy the action in the ring anyway. So I felt like it really was. They're finally starting to sort of get it to where they're not just like pretending that we're all like goldfish and have 3-second attention spans, and they're rewarding the long time, week in, week out fans. But at the same time,
I mean, you could say that you could say that Tony Khan and AEW does the same thing, though. And I mean,
they do. I don't disagree with that entirely, especially in this build to All In. I feel like that they did. Don't get me wrong. I'm not here to shit on anybody this weekend. I felt that the build to All In went really well. And I said that last week.
You did. I will give you your just desserts.
I felt that the build to All In went really well, and I did not watch all, including the pre-show would have been 8 hours. I didn't watch 8 hours of it. I didn't watch 6 hours of it, which was just the main card.
Well, Uncle Dave said that Tony Khan did that because WWE tried to kill their show on Saturday by doing back-to-back shows with NXT Great American Bash and Saturday Night's Main Event. So they in turn created their own little wrestling war to bash WWE. Now, I don't know what the buy rate was for All In. I don't even know what the ratings were for Saturday Night's Main Event, or what the watch count was on NXT. I don't dabble in that very often. But I can see why this is becoming a trend that Triple H does this, where he'll do a Saturday Night's Main Event on an AEW pay-per-view, and usually butts an NXT PLE up against Saturday Night's Main Event.
I mean, I don't think that. Yeah, it's especially a big one, because they don't do. AEW basically does a show every month, but a big one, yeah, they'll throw the NXT one in there too. To kind of bucket. One thing I want to say, I think we should start with AEW. The first thing I want to touch on is, have you seen the Adam Cole segment?
I have not. I saw it popped up on, what was it, Thursday, Wednesday, Friday?
I think his segment was on Wednesday.
Okay, so it popped up on Wednesday, I'll say, on my Twitter feed.
Probably Thursday morning, because it happened late on Wednesday, I think.
And I was at work whenever it came up on my Twitter feed, and I didn't get a chance to go back and revisit it. But
so I think this is the important thing, because last week I had said that the Kyle Fletcher versus Adam Cole was my like, oh, this is for sure going to be like for the title. This is going to steal the night. Right. This was my.
Yes, you did say that.
That was my like sort of thing. Adam Cole comes out on Wednesday. I believe it was Wednesday, but whatever day it was, Adam Cole came out and said, quite frankly, that he had to go away for a while. He's not.
Did he lose his smile?
His smile is gone. He is again significantly injured, which is the
so.
Third,
my question is how.
Time.
because I feel like I've not seen him in a ring since his concussion.
So he's been the TNT champion. He
Yes,
beat,
and I get that. As somebody that has not watched the AEW product week after week, week to week,
so
week to
he
week,
did
week
beat
to week.
he did beat Jungle Jack, who has been who's been absent. But
he is also injured.
That's why he's been absent. So he did beat Jack Perry, and then he had some in and out. Like he did some work rate stuff. I think he was in ring, more or less in title defenses that he was for sure gonna defend. But he got some time in and out for some weeks, and that's actually sort of what sort of drew me back in. Is like, well, they're gonna give Adam Cole a match. And they didn't give him a whole lot of in-ring like promo work, and they kind of let him beat, jabronis like AR Fox and stuff like that. So it wasn't quite the Adam Cole that we had hoped to see. He did have a match with Kyle Fletcher. And I want to say it was a triple threat, or it was a one of those like, this isn't for the thing. He took a couple nasty bumps that looked like he hit the back of his head. And took some bumps that looked, for a guy who has had as many troubles as he's had, some bumps that looked stupid to take. I'm going to be completely honest, and I'm sure if you scroll your Instagram or your Twitter feed, they'll more than bombard you with them if you're really interested in it. But Adam Cole's out again, injured, and it seemed to be a very serious sort of thing. Even Tommaso Ciampa chimed in on Instagram to say, "This is the best man I've ever been in the ring with. This is, one of the greatest men I've ever met in my life," kind of a thing. Almost giving him a eulogy as though he had died. He's not dead. He was able to take a microphone and speak to the crowd, although holding back tears, and saying that he had to go away for a while, and he did relinquish the title. Now, out of that, Dustin Rhodes did end up winning the title.
I know. Friend of the show, Pat Martin, could not wait to text me and tell me that Dustin that Gold Dust had won. Friend of the show, Pat Martin, is the biggest Gold Dust mark I've ever met in my entire life.
He might be the number one.
Like, and you know what? I'm here for it, man.
I mean, at least he hitched his ride to a guy who, in all fairness, has been interesting as fuck for 35 plus years. 30, we're going with 35. Yeah. Guy that's been interesting as fuck for 35 years. So I can't say anything bad on that. But that being said, Dustin Rhodes winning his first TNT title, I think is good. Guy's a hell of a champ. Anyway, guy's a hell of a wrestler. Hell of a just promo. Super good. So yeah, I don't have any complaints with who they traded it off to. I really thought they were just going to put it on Kyle Fletcher. That seemed to be the way to go. But no, we weren't doing that. So that happened. And then moving on to the All In 2025 card. So we got Swerve Strickland and Will Ospreay versus the Young Bucks. I didn't watch that. This was not a match for me. I don't care what happened.
By all accounts, it was a great Young Bucks match.
I'm sure they did exactly what they needed to do. For this,
and I'm actually really surprised that you didn't take the time to watch this one.
I just didn't.
Considering
never
that it was Will Ospreay and Swerve Strickland. I mean, I know it was against the greatest tag team in the history of AEW. But I feel like you not watching an Ospreay or a Swerve match,
So the build, I have to be honest, the build for this one particularly didn't do it for me. It was one of those things going into it. I was like, this is really just to tick the boxes on this card because it's not for a title. It doesn't. I mean,
but it was for the Young Bucks EVP status.
Right. Okay. So it was for nothing. It was for something.
No, it wasn't for nothing. Okay,
It's for something
2
intangible.
executives just lost their jobs, sir.
Oh, okay. Because they won't be back in ridiculous outfits next week. You're right. And hey, maybe it'll be a couple weeks. Who knows?
Maybe they'll be too embarrassed to show their faces on AEW television ever again.
Nah, I don't think that'll happen. There was a women's casino gauntlet match. I didn't watch that either. It seemed to be, again, sort of that filler that they like to do. I'm sure there will be feuds. Hopefully, there will be feuds coming out of it. I do think that the AEW women's division, minus Mariah May, minus Saraya, has taken a bit of a hit lately, despite Toni Storm and Mercedes Moné continuing to be.
Did you just give Mercedes Moné her flowers?
There, yes. So that build was tremendous. However, the remainder of the women's division has been almost non-existent in AEW. If you're not Toni Storm or Mercedes Moné,
I don't know. Megan Bain looked pretty good last week on Dynamite.
Okay, she gets some time, and thankfully, it seems like Ember Moon is getting some time. Again, Athena, yes. Athena's getting some time again, which is good because she's just been killing it on like the Ring of Honor app by herself, like just carrying this torch to like 50 people. But she's still great. So hopefully, and not only is she great, she's better than she ever has been, which is like that was feeling wasted. I'm glad to see her starting to get some kudos and some spotlight and some time on like an actual television show. So hopefully that continues and we just see the rise of Athena. So we got Hertz. I watch her.
And listen, Queen Aminata looked pretty good on Wednesday too. I know you're not a big fan of her, but
I'm still not high on her yet. She's still not convinced me. We got the AEW World Tag Teams Championship, Hurt Syndicate versus the Patriarchy versus Jet Speed, which is Mike Bailey and Kevin Knight, and then Christian Cage and Nick Wayne. This was basically more of a segment, really. Obviously, the Hurt Syndicate retains, and then Christian Cage and Nick Wayne have a falling out, which was
on this day I see clearly.
Yes, and he did make his
play with Uncle Jay.
He came out to play with Uncle Jay, and he told Uncle Jay to go find himself, because the Rated R Superstar is more or less the neutered Rated G Superstar. I don't know. He's not very good. It's not good. But so this whole segment went down. I wasn't a fan. But I do enjoy the Hurt Syndicate. I'm glad they're still the champions. They won in semi-dominant fashion.
Hurt people. Hurt people.
They hurt people. Men's Casino Gauntlet match I didn't watch. Kenny Omega versus Okada I didn't watch.
Really?
Yeah, I thought about watching it, and I was like, you know what? These guys have not earned it, and I don't want to watch. I don't want to hate watch it, right? And
I heard it was really good.
Great. I hope it was. But I didn't want to hate watch it. And I didn't want to come in here and be ready to like just shit all over a match that I was going in to hate watch. Right. So instead of hate watching it, I did something else and did not watch it. Now, Toni Storm versus Mercedes Moné, I did watch. Toni has been carrying this feud, which will be a shock to nobody.
Okay. You listen, you cannot compliment her 3 paragraphs ago and then turn around and try to bury her. Holy shit, it's a goddamn chupacabra.
Chupacabra lives right there. She's murdering whatever dangles on that cat tower. So this match was great. This was as straightforward of a women's wrestling match as you get. And Toni Storm continues to be at the top of the industry. Mercedes Moné is somewhere there. Her promos are not good, but God fucking
CEO CEO.
Tony Storm is so good. She might be the best promo in wrestling currently. Period. Men, women, children. It's Tony Storm. Unbelievable.
All she does is talk about her boobies all the time.
And then she's Tony Schiavone, go fuck yourself.
Friend of the show, Pat Martin, hitting it with the CEO.
Tony Schiavone,
hey Pat, we already talked about your boy. I don't know if you were here for it. But you know,
Dustin is the new TNT champion.
We gave Dustin some flowers if you weren't here.
It's sad that it had to happen at the expense of Adam Cole's
career,
very fragile body, but you know, Dustin's body continues to hold up and be unfucking breakable or fucking
Magdalene. What's up, fellas? Hey, how you doing, bud?
What up, homie? But yeah, Tony Storm versus Mercedes Moné is definitely a good watch. And the post-match promo also from Tony, also fantastic. Everything the build-up promo on Wednesday, also great. So it's best watched in all three segments. Watch Wednesday's promo, watch the match on Saturday, watch the post-match.
I'm so happy I creamed in my panties.
She doesn't wear panties.
I don't wear panties.
Exactly. Tremendous stuff. Tony Storm continues to be the GOAT, and I'm here for it. And as long as they continue to do this, I will continue to at least tune in to watch whatever the fuck Tony Storm is doing, because it's great all the time. It's all killer, no filler, and it's so good. She's having fun. I'm having fun.
The fat
We're all
chick.
having fun. What?
She's also the fat chick Thriller.
The fat chick Thriller. She did say that, didn't she?
I don't think so. I was trying to be included in your little rhyme.
I hope she says she's the fat chick Thriller. That would be amazing. R.I.P. Mike Awesome, by the way. Because good look. Fucking Mike Awesome was ahead of his time. Really, really ahead of his time. The fat chick Thriller shit would have hit. It would have been so big right now. It would have been a great heel. It would have been great heel work right now. But also, you could be like, I'm absolutely 100% legit. Like, big ladies. Let's go. Like, that should have been like that. Right now, people wouldn't know what to do. Like, the internet would be both ecstatic about it and really mad about it all at the same time. It would implode the world, and I would love it. There you go.
Are you
Grill 2025?
Are you done? Like,
no, I'm not. So there was a Texas death match.
Oh God, we know love how much Tom loves his Texas death match.
Okay, so I did watch all of this. This match was fucking gross. Okay,
You're just a hater. You're just a D1 hater.
Stabbed Mox in the head with a fork, and you saw fucking fork bleed marks. This shit was fucking gross.
It's just Jonathan Good out here living his best wrestling life. I don't know how many times I have to tell you this.
This shit was fucking gross.
Mox is just out here living his
great. I hope he had fun
life.
Because I watched this match like this.
Magdalene with Adam Page, let's go.
Yeah, look, correct result. I am so fucking glad that Hangman won. I am like, that's why I'm like not about to shit on this match, but it was gross.
They really missed the mark though. They could have like done something really cool with the belt, like, you know, maybe put some Brasso on it, a la Macho Man Randy Savage, because it's just been in the briefcase and it should have just been like a mangled fucking mess. And it's just like they should have done something there.
It came out all shiny and like.
I feel like it was a missed opportunity.
Yeah, not like tarnished or dusty or anything like that. It came out like they just fucking buffed it in the back so that he could hold up the fucking shiny ass title. That being said, this match was fucking gross. They did everything they could do that wasn't like rip themselves from asshole to appetite. Like it was gross. The whole thing was gross. There was a spine buster on like the corner of a bed of nails. It was there were a lot of moments that like just were shocking. And I get that that's the idea. It was on pay-per-view. Okay, I get it. Also, this was not, for me, the result, however, was correct. Thank God they got the belt off of Mox. I hope that if we're running it back, because we were tracking best to worst AEW champions. This Mox's run with the Death Riders was the worst AEW championship run in the history of AEW.
So, let me just stop you there because
all right, go ahead.
I'm interested to know, like, where do you think this went wrong for you? Because you were high on this at first. You were high on the Death Riders thing, and you were high.
Where did the Death Riders go wrong for me? Probably about a year ago. The problem is it was too long, and so it had some steam. I feel like getting out of the gate.
Still, but we live in a cynical wrestling fandom where people are like, "Hey, man, I'm all about this long-term storytelling." You yourself have complained.
So this didn't like. But that seems to be the problem with all of this, is that like this didn't seem to relate to anything, because Jon Moxley he's like a 4-time champion now, yes. 5-time maybe. It's been a lot of times.
Well, it's because he's a company man and he's there when fucking Tony Khan needs him.
Right, and this,
he's like Kevin Owens. He's break glass in case of emergency.
Right, but they break glass in AEW far too often. Like he is the most time like he will be an 18-time AEW champion.
Zero reaction.
Okay, yeah, I get it. Okay, Stone Cold. Yeah, it wasn't that good, man. Like you got to do more to get a pop out of me.
Like nothing though. Like I mean that was. Fuck this guy.
Do you smell what The Rock is cooking? Oh, I got nothing out of you. Like, fuck off with that shit.
Fuck out of here.
Do better.
Okay. All right. I remember that.
Do better. I get told that all the time.
Fucking, I'll do better. Yeah.
No.
Fucking watch all do right. Better. So, anyways, where did this go wrong for you? Because, like,
where did this go wrong? There was a point in time where he had beaten just about fucking everybody. I'm pretty sure he beat Swerve twice. And this title reign meant he basically was just like a dominant asshole who had like a fucking army of dickheads behind him.
So he was the tribal chief.
And he never defended the title.
Oh, so he was the tribal chief.
He was the Timu version of the tribal chief.
Hey, don't you disrespect the goddamn good name of Timu, okay? I got some fucking dope shorts from Timu. All right, like the coolest fucking shorts ever. I bought 2 pair of them.
Oh, good.
They were fucking so cool.
Bought 2 pair.
Okay, we'll just. To
be fair, I have the Into the AM. I have about like 4 pairs or 4 of the like just the heather gray, like the one with the buttons, just because I don't like when things touch my neck. So I love if I'm wearing a shirt that like has a collar, because my neck is like this long. Yeah, I don't like.
Oh, so no polos for Tom, huh?
No, I mean I like polos, but like I don't button them and they're like wide open.
Well, it's because you gotta let your spirit out,
So, but like I don't even because yes, this, but like I also don't like things around my neck, which is also a very like it is. It's very like look. Every Dago I know has a fucking like crucifix, like down here. I don't want things to touch this. It's too much. I can't fucking do it. Anyway, correct result. Excited to see what Adam Page does in title reign number 2.
I mean, it sure as fuck can't be any worse than that first one, bud. Like,
no, it can't be.
Because I was very much one of those folks that was uber excited for Page to,
because the climb was good. That's the best climb they've ever had.
I mean, and this climb with him was very good, even though like I'm out of tune on a lot of things. AEW, like, you keep up with things, especially whenever you have a wrestling podcast, you keep up with things. His build, in the way that his character art, there's a lot of folks that are praising his character work on the internet. And that's really not something that you hear coming out of AEW, is character work stuff.
He has grown leaps and bounds, and I'm gonna compare his first AEW title run to his current character. His first AEW title run was Drew McIntyre as the Chosen One. Back in, God, what was that, 2012, 2013? Like little boy, clean shaven young man Drew McIntyre.
Oh, okay.
All right. Young man Drew McIntyre. I'm going to compare this. Young man Drew McIntyre, who was fired after the 3-man band. That was Adam Page's first AEW title run. Now his second, his new climb to greatness, his return, I will compare to current day Drew McIntyre, who has been able to come back and have feuds and create a character who's right, but also a hypocrite. And, kind of live this sort of tweener lifestyle where it's like, I was the chosen one, and now here I am as sort of a anti-hero hero who thinks I'm a hero. Adam Page currently is a hero to me. I'm just going to say Hangman is a hero, especially after fucking choking out the end of this match was with the chain and with the hanging. That spot's still good. Like, that's because it's not like real brutal. Like, nobody's really dying in this. It's like, but that's the kind of, like, in my opinion, like, oh, that's a dangerous wrestling spot. That's probably the easiest wrestling spot to walk away from. Because everybody's protecting you. So even if it goes wrong, they just, we drop you, and like, it's just my hand and like a chain, and like, sure, it's tight around your neck, but at the same time, like, you've got your foot on the thing. Like, you're standing up. It's fine. It just looks like you're getting killed. You're not actually being killed. There are, it's as bad as a chokehold, but we got a chain or a rope or whatever. It's the optics of the whole thing. And I'm perfectly good with a death match ending like that, despite everything up before that being just a fucking monstrous, like, bloodbath, spike-induced murder rampage. They both should have been dead like 4 times. But coming out of it, it's sort of this like green pasture of like, where do we go from here? We have vanquished the villain, the ultimate villain. And maybe that was the point, right? Like, AEW had to suck for like fucking a year so that we could have this like green pastures. And now it's like the end of, like, if you've ever seen the South Park Make Love Not Warcraft episode, where after they finally defeat the guy who how do you kill that which has no life, after they finally defeat him, what do we do now? Well, now we can finally play the game. Now we can finally play the game. Is that what it is? I feel like that's always sort of the like climax of a lot of this, but it's like, now we can finally play the game. That being said, everything coming out of like a lot of other things too, as far as the rest of it, with the patriarchy falling apart, Unfortunately, Adam Cole, being sidelined. Thankfully, Tony Storm is still the champion. There's a lot to kind of hang your hat on within AEW. Chris Jericho did not insert himself, by the way, at least not that I saw. We got no extra Chris Jericho shit, which is good. Thanks, Chris, for taking a step back. I don't know what the rest of your career entails, but like, kudos. Hey, Walt's back. I was just wrapping up. Thank God you're back.
Sorry, pal. I had to
take care of business.
So.
Take care of business. But yeah, I was just saying that coming out of this, like, we'll see where they go. Now Hangman's got the title. He's got to carry the show. Let's see what goes from there. Tony Storm still able to carry the show. It sucks that we lost Adam Cole.
Baby.
Dustin Rhodes gonna have some on-screen week in, week out little feuds, which should be good.
They'll probably pin him on Wednesday.
They might. Kyle Fletcher might pin him on Wednesday. That might actually happen. But that being said, like, I don't think that, like, they're in I think they're in a better spot today than they were even a month ago. So hopefully they know what the fuck they're doing. They've got some shit to do this Wednesday. I will watch on Wednesday, and hopefully, like I said, we're going to go somewhere now, and we're going to do something. Now, I might watch on Wednesday, and you may talk to me next week, and I may be like, what the fuck did I do with my life on Wednesday? God damn it, what the fuck?
And that's always the thing coming out of a major pay-per-view with AEW.
It is. It's like, come out of a pay-per-view, we're like, all right, this was good. And then it's almost like they want to punch me in the mouth on Wednesday. It's like, fuck you. Don't watch this shit anymore. Get out. And it's like, guys, why? Why? Like, you don't even hit that hard. Come on. All right, fine. And then I just leave them alone and, let them scrape back from the bottom again. It's like a fetish with them sometimes.
Hey, listen, whatever you do in the privacy of your own home is none of our business. Punching in the mouth and fetishes and scraping bottoms. I don't know what you're talking about over there.
See, I had set you up a little bit earlier, actually, and you dodged it to save it for this moment.
I mean, it's an art,
I appreciate you.
Sometimes you paint the Mona Lisa, and sometimes you do some sidewalk chalk on the driveway,
Fair enough. Anyway, we should talk about the rest of the fucking pay-per-views that happened this week.
Yeah, so
premium live events.
Listen, I didn't get a chance to like I already said, I didn't get to see too much, but from what I gather, NXT All American Bash was pretty good.
All American Bash was good. I don't follow it as hard as I used to follow NXT, but I did watch All American Bash and Great American Bash.
How dare you disrespect the goddamn good name of Dusty Rhodes? Yeah, this guy.
Just fucking out here, just fucking everything up. All right, so let's roll through the card real quick, because like it was good. So just on the list that Bleacher Report has, we had Obafemi versus Yoshi Inamura. Not the best build, I didn't think. Jordan Grace and Blake Monroe versus Fatal Influence, which was a sort of precursor to what happened on Sunday. That was pretty good. Falls Count Anywhere match for the North American Championship. Ricky Saints versus Ethan Page. Ethan Page being the champion. And then Sol Ruca versus Izzy Dame.
She's coming to the main roster.
Sol Ruca or Izzy Dame?
Sol Ruca.
I mean, probably both, honestly, Izzy and Sol. Sol Ruca is unfucking believable. Like, Jesus Christ.
Because she got that spot on Friday where she got to hit the soul snatcher, and she did a double soul snatcher, and the internet took notice. She's unbelievable. Like, she is so goddamn good. Like, just she's better than, like, I feel like we're talking. I'm talking about her now in the same way that, like, I was talking about like Tiffany Stratton like a year and a half ago. She's the next one. Like, she's a huge deal. Javon Evans versus Jasper Troy. Javon Evans is going to be a big deal next year. And then Trick Williams, Joe Hendry, and Mike Santana was also fine. This was they packed a lot in here, right? We started off with Javon Evans and Jasper Troy. Evans defeated Troy. Javon Evans, like I said, it's going to be a big deal. Jasper Troy, I don't know. But this was something. But mostly for Javon Evans, and it's like a year from now, we're going to look back and go, oh, yeah, this guy's going to be real good. And then Sol Ruca versus Izzy Dame. Sol Ruca retained. Sol Ruca looks. My only criticism of Sol Ruca is that she can't drag. Like, she can drag a B match out of anybody, but she cannot quite drag an A match out of anybody yet. And so this was the finish particularly was great. I mean, I feel like the setup for the Soul Snatcher is always just interesting and fun. And they did that this time, and it was good. And then we had a Fall Counts Anywhere, Ricky Saints versus Ethan Page, which was Ethan Page retained. I actually thought this was gonna go the other way, and when he retained, like my brain immediately dumped the rest of the match. It was a good match. Like, overall, I really, really expected Ricky Saints to win. I can't call her Sol Ruca. What is she, Ruca? Sol Ruca? Sorry, Ruca. Soruka.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway,
shit, I love when people come in here and fucking roast you, bro. It makes me smile.
They knocked me over. So I mean, it was a great match. Obviously, these two guys are great, doing great stuff in NXT. They might be a little small, unfortunately for both of them. We may be witnessing the pinnacles of their career. Not that I have a problem with that, but that's the thing.
Ooh, no, you didn't just say that Ethan Page and Ricky Saints were too small.
They might be too small. It's entirely possible. I mean, we'll see what happens on the main roster. We will see.
I can't believe that you just fucking said that.
It's what I was thinking while the match was happening. These guys might be too small. That's all I was thinking. Look, love to be proven wrong, because I think they're great. I'm sold on both of them.
They're both fantastic.
Sold on both of them. For the main roster, they might be too small.
I mean, what about Carmelo Hayes? He's doing just fine.
Right. And they'll do just fine on the main roster, like Carmelo Hayes.
Oh, Tom, just fine. Oh, Tom took it that way. Ooh.
It's just I'm just. That's a prediction. It's not a spoiler. See how I reversed that? I'm just saying. All right. So the whole Trick Williams thing. Nothing really advanced. It was fine. So NXT Championship, Obafemi versus Yoki Inamura. Obafemi retained in what was just a slobber knocker. Can we call it that? A slobber knocker of a match. Obafemi continues to be just a fucking monster. I don't know how exactly he translates to the main roster. I hope it works. But his NXT run thus far has been the best thing to watch on NXT has been Obafemi for at least a year at this point. And the guy is just when his music hits and he's like fucking jiving to the ring, just dancing to the ring like he's about to just ruin whomever's in there's life. And then he does it, and it's just every time it's just like, God, this guy fucking delivers. So I hope that translates to Raw or SmackDown. And I hope that it just shoots the guy to the fucking stratosphere. Because I love
the moon.
Exactly.
What happened to
I hoped he was to the moon, and he fucking works for TNA now. So
what? Just like it's like
Obafemi is a big motherfucker, which helps. A guy who is not too small. He is a big motherfucker. Yeah. I don't know how I feel about Inamura. It was fine. It was good. He was good, but I don't know that Colorado Rockies really.
I know somebody that has these initials.
Oh, so you gotta like, okay, Colorado Rockies. There we go. Thank God the Colorado Rockies exist, so we can't pick on how bad the fucking Pittsburgh Pirates are.
I mean, the Pirates are god awful.
The Rockies are worse. Anyway, so that was and then we got Jordan Grace and Blake Monroe versus Fatal Influence, which Fatal Influence obviously is basically carbon copy of Toxic Attraction.
Yo, yeah, just
Michael Cole could not stop calling them Fatal Attraction on Sunday. They were fatal. He called them Fatal Attraction like 10 times before like somebody clearly got in his ear and was like, "It's fucking Fatal Influence. Fucking fix it." But Fatal Influence. So this was a cute little segment that built up, and then it was interesting because it happened like in NXT, and then what happened after. This is like one of those callback to what I said. Hey, they appreciate us if we sit there and watch wrestling all weekend, because on Saturday at like 3 p.m, if you watch this and then you watched it like 8 p.m. on Sunday, which were totally different time slots, obviously. You were rewarded for watching both shows. So we'll get to that later. It was a good tag team match. It got everybody on the card. Jordan Grace is great. Clearly a main event talent and somebody we want. Blake Monroe, I don't know that I like that name better than I liked
Mariah May.
I think I liked Mariah
May. Blake Monroe is a porn star's name, by the way.
I wasn't going to say that because I didn't want to.
I said it last week too.
Say that I was a pervert, but it is what it is.
I mean, we all know the deviation that happens inside your home. Just deviant.
We all do what we do on our own. So anyway, I thought it was a good show. NXT continues to be consistent, if nothing else. It never sucks. It's always like, I'm gonna watch NXT.
Solid.
Yeah,
it's always a solid watch.
This absolutely delivered in all those ways. Nothing sucked. Everything was good. Everybody looks good. Everybody works hard. It was booked well. It was booked by Shawn Michaels. It was booked well. Everything felt right.
So that's good though. That's good. I'm glad it didn't suck.
It did not suck.
So I want to skip a day here, skip a block of time, and I want to move ahead to Sunday, and I want to talk about the all women's paper, premium live event.
So
Evolution
good.
2. I was so, like I said at the beginning of the show, I was so hyped for the show. And Saturday Night Event did a great job really pushing me to want to watch it. So much so that when we come out of here, I think I'm probably going to watch it before I move on to Raw to start the new week. Just because I want to be fully engaged in the fallout that's going to come from it. But for whatever reason, it just wasn't in the cards for me to get watched this weekend. I am aware of some of the things that have happened. And
I'm sorry, I'm gonna spoil things for you. I wish I wasn't gonna but I feel like we have to sort of
for sure. I'm aware of some things that have happened. But I still need to watch it and pay it its respect. I wore a Candice LeRae shirt all day yesterday. For in support.
She was there.
Of Evolution.
She was there. She was in the Battle Royal.
Well, I only have a couple of women's shirts, and I couldn't find my Becky Lynch mugshot shirt from the WrestleMania feud with her and Charlotte and Ronda Rousey. I have that mugshot T-shirt. I don't know where the hell I put it. It's probably in a box somewhere.
That seems to happen to my Iron Maiden shirts. I have a lot of really good Iron Maiden shirts.
Well, when you you have so many wrestling T-shirts, I think sometimes subconsciously I'm just like, we'll give this one a break for a little while. And then I have this box of random T-shirts that forgot I had that. I found a Enzo and Cash shirt the other day.
That's some shit I would wear in public, and people would be like, "Fuck is that?"
I'm definitely putting it into the rotation.
Yeah, that's some shit that needs to be seen in public. All right, so Evolution kicked off with a triple threat for the Intercontinental title with Lyra, Bayley, and Becky Lynch. To be fair, they had Bayley and Lyra took it back tonight, and that's actually where I paused it before we started. So I don't know what happened tonight yet, but this match to kick off the show was you expect this to be good.
Yes, absolutely.
You hear the people in the match, and you're like, "Oh, that's gonna be great." It was better. However good you think it is, it's better. Becky retained in fantastic heel fashion, but nobody came out to fuck with it or anything. It was just opportunistic in a triple threat. Fantastic. It was.
Magdalene says Becky's pin was epic.
It was fantastic. It was great from start to finish. This is you could make a convincing argument that this was the best match on the card. I don't think that's the case, but you could make a convincing argument that it was. Fantastic start to back. The perfect match to kick off the show. The match itself was perfect. I was excited for it. I had high hopes for it. They exceeded the hopes for it. It was great. You just have to watch it. I'm not trying to ruin the intern.
No, I mean it's ruined, but I know what happens whenever we record a show and I've not watched a major piece of what we're talking about.
It's better than I'm even conveying to you.
Well, I mean, the amount of respect that you and I both have for Bayley and Becky Lynch, and Lyra's on the fringe of
Lyra might
finding herself
smoothest So one of my biggest criticisms about a lot of women's wrestlers is that they do a lot of like that weird stutter step, and I don't know if it's particularly like a Natty thing, like Natty Neidhart. I don't know if because Natty does the stutter. Natty's the worst about the stutter.
Well, I mean, maybe it's got something to do with their gait. Maybe in order to maybe something that's 3 steps for, Braun Breaker might be 1.5 for Lyra Valkyria.
Right. But Lyra is so smooth. She might be the smoothest of anybody on the main roster present day. The way she moves in the ring sort of reminds me of how like Ricochet would move in the ring as far as smoothness is concerned. Lyra's more technical than Ricochet is in that regard, but as smooth as she is with the rolls and with the pop-ups and with the just how she steps and where she places her feet is very akin. She's as good at it, or almost, as Ricochet is. She's not particularly a high flyer in that same sense, but where her foot placement is just impeccable. It looks natural. It looks smooth. And when she has to dump and take a roll or something, like it's just like whoop, and she's back up. And it's so good every time. And I think her being in the match just sort of elevated because, you've got the other stuff. Everybody sort of, it all just sort of meshed together. It was like a beautiful dish. And it was like, oh, we've got the garlic and we got the salt and we got the pepper and it was great. So good stuff there. Enjoyed the Becky retaining because that keeps the heat on Lyra and Bayley. And we got that again tonight, which is like just more like, hey, we're just going to build off of this. And then we got the NXT Women's Championship match, which we got JC Jane versus, hold on, where'd this go? Oh, what happened? Yeah, so it was JC Jane and it was JC Jane and Jordan Grace. Yeah, good match overall. JC Jane had her minions, fatal influence.
You almost Michael Cole'd it.
Almost did. I was like, I'm not gonna Michael Cole this. They are fatal influence. Although Michael Cole called them fatal attraction most of the time. Fatal influence. But Blake Monroe was down with Jordan Grace, and we saw Jordan Grace say, hey, I really want you to accompany me to the ring tonight. Like, she's got backup. I need some backup. It would be an honor. Right? Perfectly logical. I do want to say that Jordan Grace, like, gets a perm or whatever. Her hair is in like tight curls that bounce a lot. It makes every cell kind of feel more because her hair is just going like every time, and it's really cool. This was a great match. JC Jane remembered how to wrestle. Remember when we were like, JC Jane is not the wrestler we thought she was.
Right.
She found that.
Oh, well, that's good. And
this match was a testament to it. She was great. In fact, I would say that JC Jane sort of commanded this match. She was the better wrestler, despite our love, my love, particularly for Jordan Grace. I think Jordan Grace is great. JC Jane really commanded this match. This really seemed to be a great match. Spoiler, I'm sure. Blake Monroe turns on Jordan Grace, hits her with the title in the back, stares down JC Jane, walks out. Great shit. Fantastic. I didn't see it coming. Maybe I should have, but I didn't see it coming. Draw hit the ground when it happened. Michael Cole sold it as like, was it a mistake? Clearly wasn't a mistake. They corrected not corrected, but like, sold it as like, oh no, clearly Blake Monroe has shown her true colors, as she should. Like, she needs to be a heel.
Yep.
And this was great. Good heel turn. Perfect timing. Nobody saw it coming. Sucked the air out of the room, which was great, I thought. Like, the crowd, can't say enough about how good the crowd was. And maybe that's due to, like, you know, tickets being $100, $50. You know, we got real wrestling fans in there. Sucked the air out of the room. But the crowd all night was fantastic.
Well, I think that it was set up. It was a near sellout for what it was set up for. I think there was, like, as of yesterday, going into an hour before, WrestleTix tweeted that there was 48 available tickets, and it was set up for like 8,300 folks. So, seems like it was pretty successful from that standpoint.
Yeah, no, I mean, it looked like a big full building. Like, it looked like a big full, you know, hockey arena or whatever. Good shit. So that was great. And then we got Jade versus Naomi, which was good. And then
Who won that?
Naomi won.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting. I thought for
Naomi
sure that
won bleeding. Like was, and you saw it tonight if you watched the intro, but like Naomi is cut from here to here. Like, it's her whole nose is broken open. And it's butterflied shut. And that's how she entered later. But probably Jade Cargill's best match, if we're being honest. Naomi really, got a ton out of Jade. You could tell they really, they rehearsed the shit out of this. Looked great. Naomi looked great. Everything was great. This was really a big deal. They both looked like they had been through a car crash by the end of this match. And Jade's a star. This really solidified Naomi. And then we had the triple threat tag team match, which Judgment Day retained.
I think we all saw that coming.
Right. We all saw that coming. It was a triple threat. The only thing I want to point out with this match is when Charlotte Flair got the hot tag, the pop in this arena, it was unhinged. I at no point did I expect Charlotte Flair to get a hot tag and this to just go, people got unhinged.
Well, I do want to say that on Friday Night SmackDown, her and Alexa had a little interaction backstage, and I kind of really hope that they continue to go this direction with Charlotte's character, because keep her with Alexa. There's a weird chemistry there that Alexa is able to give Charlotte these backhanded compliments that Charlotte's able to be like, well, yeah, but that's because it's true. That kind of that kind of dynamic, and it really makes Charlotte palatable.
Yes, I agree. And this again punched way, but you could have looked at this as the throwaway match of the night. And Judgment Day retains with Roxanne and Raquel, and it seems to be that seemed to be very shit. Liv's hurt. What do we do? I don't know why this has the chemistry that it has, but it all seems to work. And I think
because it's really just gonna be another vehicle for them to get to their end game here, that something's going to happen between Roxanne and Liv. It was just a matter of time. Mm-hmm. But now this is just another layer to that onion of that story. And obviously Finn and JD, and all of that, the way that he's been the last several weeks, and bringing Roxanne in, and now that Liv's gone, Roxanne's filling all those spots, and this is just another layer to that story.
It feels like we get to continue the Judgment Day, which has sort of been a pillar on Monday Night Raw, and has been just good all the time. Like, it doesn't need to be great. It just needs to be good all the time. And they've found a way to make it good constantly for what's going on, like, with 3-4 years now. It's been a long fucking time with Judgment Day, and it's just like it's always good. And it's like, well, they can have 2 or 3 matches because there's so fucking many of them,
Right.
and like, they lost Carlito. We didn't talk about it. We lost Lito. Carlito's gone, but like, it's funny, it's entertaining. They can, here's 30 seconds and go. All right, we're in the Judgment Day locker room, yada, yada, yada. Then they have a match, yada, whatever, comes back around, maybe later, maybe JD has a match. We have a little segment in the before. You got this? You good? Oh, what are we good? We okay? Something a little funny happens, and then we go out. A good match happens, and this was great. I love that all the gold sits on Judgment Day right now. It's where it's clearly like, no, Judgment Day is still here to stay and very important to our week in, week out shows because they hold all the titles. They're going to be here. They're not all going to wrestle this week, but some of them will, and it's going to be great and makes Monday Night Raw so much better. So this just kind of continues that. But yeah, the Charlotte Flair pop was incredible. Charlotte and Alexa, I agree with you. There's a chemistry there that somehow makes them both better, particularly Charlotte. Anyway, so then we got Tiffy, because it was Tiffy time, versus the one, the only Trish Stratus.
Oh, hey, real quick, before we get into this match, this like little thing, I had to screenshot it. AI popped up on my Instagram feed, and you know, if this isn't just the
go Power Rangers, that really, okay. So one thing, Trish Stratus, she did get a new face. That's not the same face that she had 20 years ago. It's close, but it's not the same.
Yeah, but she got like super into yoga and all that stuff. Like,
okay, great. Does that make your face a different face?
Yeah.
Buddy, I've seen pictures of my face from 20 years ago. I have a beard now. I have more beard. I've seen pictures of me with a beard. I'm just better at sculpting it now.
You have a beard?
I mean, it's something. There's hair. It exists. Anyway, I love that, by the way. You like shook it out like you were some mermaid coming out of like the fucking sea. And it was just your beard. Good for you. Anyway, fucking shit. Anyway, so no, but like, how is Trish Stratus still like a top 20 performer in professional wrestling? Like,
she's retired twice.
She's retired twice and she's 49 years old. She wrestles like twice a year.
Hey, you know, she's an ageless wonder, bud. And
ageless wonder. She might be better now than she was like when she was like 26.
I mean,
she hadn't quite figured it out. She's probably better now, actually, than she was.
You know what? I'm
sure she feels a lot shittier the next morning than she did then, because like she definitely woke up this morning and went, "Fuck me," had to like stretch in bed before she even got out of it. But
I helped her work out this morning.
Trish was great. The crowd, gave her the "you still got it." I mean, Tiffany Stratton's what, 20? Tiffany's half her age, almost. 24 years younger. Tiffany's 25. Trish is 49. Jesus Christ. Incredible. And it was again one of those things where I'm like, how much longer are they gonna like trot Trish out there to do that? Trish was great. Trish was fantastic. Tiffany was fantastic. Tiffany took care of Trish. It was like it made my heart swell. It made me jump out of my seat. I unbelievable. I can't like this was almost the most surreal moment of the night. It kind of was. It was like this probably had the lowest expectation for me, and somehow hit at just as high of peaks as any other match of the night. So it was incredibly impressive. So moving on, what do we get here? We got the Izzy Dame bash, blah blah blah. Izzy Dame. Yeah, okay. Not important. What is this? Anyway, Bleacher Report's not very good at this tonight. So we get on to the main event. Main event being one and only Rhea Ripley versus Io Sky. What a fucking match. Holy shit, what a fucking match. Holy shit. Jessica Carr took a tremendous bump on the outside of the ring from Io Sky. Kicked in the face and then head into the outside mat, like just blah, and was dead for a while. Where they then took it to the crowd and were in the lower seats whilst they beat the fuck out of each other. Got it into the ring. Jessica Carr comes back from the dead after 3, 4, 5 minutes. And then, oh shit, Naomi's cashing in. Like right as everybody's dead. Right as like the match is about to end. Rhea's finally hit her with the riptide. It's a hard time, like, getting to the ring. There's some some confusion in the ring. Out comes Naomi. Cashes in immediately. Naomi fucking ruins Io with the briefcase because it's now a triple threat match, no holds barred. Like there's no disqualification. Ruins Io with the briefcase. Hucks Rhea into the ring post and chucks her out of the ring. So Rhea hits the ring post, bang, and tumbles out of the ring. Rhea's already like just barely clinging to life anyway after the brutal like 15 minutes that they've just gone through, and just get chucked into the ring post into the front row. Naomi then drags Io's lifeless corpse to the corner, hits that like double whatever bounce moonsault thing that she loves.
Split-legged moonsault.
Yeah. 1, 2, 3. She's the new women's champ. Proceed with caution. What a rags to riches story. I mean, somebody who's like, y'all weren't feeling the glow. No, we weren't.
Bring it to the flow.
Right. It was terrible for a decade. Like, it was like, please fucking move on from this. It should have ended 10 years ago. It's been 16 years. Like, it was too much.
Agreed.
But then, like, we get this new version, and it's like, oh, thank God. And then everybody gets behind it, despite it being a heel turn. And even tonight, she kicked off Raw, and like the crowd was like cheered the shit out of her, and she had to like say, no, y'all weren't feeling the glow, and like she really controlled the crowd too with her promo tonight, which was just again like more icing on the cake, right? And just really controlled the crowd and was just like, you weren't feeling it, but now I got this. And it's like, she addressed Bianca and Jade, and she's like, you guys were happy with me being your lackey, but I've evolved past you. Now I'm in charge. And it was great promo. I mean, the whole thing just leading into this, just like and it's really, this is my favorite thing about pro wrestling, because it's not about what happens in the moment necessarily. Like, moments are great, but it's what you do with the moment after the fact, continue the legacy of your moment, that really makes it, whether it's like, well, this is good or this is bullshit, right? It's like, well, it was a great moment. And I feel like that's sort of like where we were, like a lot of Daniel Bryan moments are like that. It's like you get to a great moment and then it's like, well, now you're a mediocre champion, or now you're like just going to do mediocre comedy shit. And this went from like, we did not expect it coming. You know, we expected her to want to cash in against Jade with Tiffy at SummerSlam, because Tiffy won, Tiffy retained. We know Jade is gonna because she won Queen of the Ring, we know she's gonna challenge Tiffany at SummerSlam. We thought that was gonna be the case, right? It was like that's they painted that perfectly.
Yeah.
Okay. So predictable, right? We could have sat here, if I'm fucking like, you know.
Yeah, but I mean, to be fair, we weren't really sure how all that was going to shake out with Jade, and, you know, winning the Queen of the Ring, and it's just,
you and I weren't, because we were like, they really just going to do it this way? Maybe it doesn't make sense. Like, maybe that's not the way it goes. And they totally were just like, nah, she's going to show up at the end of Evolution. She's going to take it off people who she's not talked to. She's not been involved in any of this. Wonderfully, not been involved in any of this. Hey, here she is. They've just killed each other. Nobody suspected any of this. Here she is. Cash in. Fuck you, Rio. Bam! Right into the post. And that shit looked gnarly as hell. And then, you know, dumped EO, and then they kicked off the show. You know, all three of them were in there, and now, so here's my criticism of this: is Adam Pearce walks out after this, and he's like, "All right, well, it's now a triple threat at SummerSlam," and it's like, really, Pearce, we're gonna do this now? We're just gonna be like, "Hey, SummerSlam's coming in like a few weeks. Guess what? You guys get to fight again. Oh yay!" And it's like, all this good work you guys did, leading up to this,
fucking shot it in the foot,
and now we're just gonna be like, hey, for the marks, let's run it back. Like, all right,
yeah, that sucks. I'm not into that at all.
Did a great swerve for everything, but now for the marks, because the marks are coming to watch SummerSlam. Yeah, I'm not into that. So that was, honestly, I felt like they should have both been like, nope, back of the line. We've got a battle royal coming up tonight to see, or next week to see who the challenger is going to be at SummerSlam or whatever. Figure it out. I don't fucking care. But like, Jesus Christ. Anyway, so a little bit of a only because I've watched Raw tonight, a little bit of a damper on what was already a a highlight, but that's my thing. But we still have one more show even to talk about.
We do, and that would be Saturday night's main event coming from Atlanta, Georgia, Goldberg's last match. And let me tell you something, Mean Joe. I'll tell you what, man. We got the right amount of Jesse Ventura this
one
time.
Segment. We absolutely did. So the internet has been a little bit more critical about it but Homie has fucked up the last two by being not fucking prepared. And like, I like Jesse Ventura as much as the next guy, but if you're just straight up not going to watch the product and not going to watch the build, not even like prepare for your live TV appearance on Peacock and NBC, not even going to prepare. Well, I haven't seen any wrestling in 40 years. Like, Jesse, they hired you, brother. Watch the fucking show.
I will say, though, he did feel more prepared this time. Just in that opening segment with Joe Tessitore, I was like, oh, maybe he finally fucking, because, when he
You frozen, sir. You were going to make your best point of the night, and you frozen. You are a frozen man. Frozen solid. We've lost Walter. Oh, there he's back. Okay. What were you going to say?
I said,
standing there with Joe Tessitore.
He was standing with Joe Tessitore, and he was talking about Gunther versus Goldberg, and like he sounded like he knew what he was talking about. And it was very much like, oh, well, maybe he actually did his homework this time, and maybe it won't be such an epic train wreck. And then there was just no train to be driven.
Probably best for the case, best for the cause, honestly, because of what happened going into it. And I feel like we can go through the card a little bit. So we kicked off with what I thought was the absolute weakest match of the night, which was Randy Orton flanked by Jelly Roll versus Drew McIntyre, who was flanked by Logan Paul. I did think that now obviously this is what they've set up for SummerSlam.
Yeah, but make it make sense, man. Like Drew and Randy Orton has potential to be one of the best feuds of the year. And actually, I was golfing on Thursday, and because he was like, "Hey, man, Drew McIntyre and Randy Orton, that's going to be fucking phenomenal." I'm like, "Oh, I'm absolutely here for it."
This is the weakest match on the card,
and
because I thought so too. And going into this under-delivered hugely, purely for the segment of it,
yep.
Right? Purely for the segment. And, they didn't know it was going to go on for the rest of the night where they needed to fill time. They should have given this more time. They should have given Drew and Randy more time. I felt like that would have been a better use of the time. Obviously, hindsight.
Well, they still fucked the pooch at the end.
They did. I don't know. This was a bad this was a bad way to start the match. This kind of like this was soft. This would have been soft even on like a Raw or a SmackDown. This would have been soft. This was a soft start. We then did get the United States Championship match, Jimmy Uso versus Solo, which I thought picked it up a lot. Now it was following the easiest segment to follow ever. It was following like a pretty bad segment. Not that it was botched or anything, but it was a poorly done, felt forced segment. And it followed it. And this was actually really good.
It was very good.
To me, this kind of stole the night. And hindsight being 2020, I thought this had the most implication going into it. I thought Jimmy looked great. Solo looked great. We've got Solo in a spot, I think, right now that really is where his character needs to be. Where he's like,
yes,
he's funny, but he's also kind of unhinged at the same time. So it's like, is he gonna be hilarious? Is he gonna try to tear your head off and kick it into the third row?
It still feels very C-movie sequel.
Yeah.
And I don't know that they're going to be able to get that stank off of it.
Well, and even with the MFT stuff, the like My Family Tree thing, like that's not like I get they're trying to go with like a 3-letter T-shirt like to market it, but it's just not. It's not a thing that's gonna sell T-shirts. You know what I mean? Like it's just like this is a hard like you can't wear this T-shirt in public, kind of a thing. Like you could wear the like wreck everyone and leave T-shirt. You could wear the like, We the Ones T-shirt, like stuff like that. Like that's what they're going for. But it's too like here's 4 heads, and it's like we're not the Three Stooges, right? It's like let's not. But that's what it feels like. So, from a T-shirt gimmick standpoint, this was not great because that's what they're going for.
Magdalene wants to know what happened to Tama Tonga. He's still hurt.
He's hurt. He's real hurt. He broke a leg. Did he not?
Oh, why do I think it was his clavicle?
Oh, it was the leg. Maybe it is.
I thought it was up here.
Something's broken. Anyway, point being, Tama Tonga broke a bone
in War Games.
in War Games. No, that was
No, it was definitely War Games because everybody was fucked up coming out of War Games.
I thought Tama Tonga was not hurt after War Games, but then like hurt himself like 2 weeks later.
I'm pretty sure everybody got fucked up in War Games.
Maybe it was. Anyway, no, Tama Tonga is still hurt to the point. Whenever he got hurt, he's still currently hurt. His brother, who is Tala Tonga, Hikulo, who is his other adopted brother, is not hurt and is the newest member. Motherfucker is huge, by the way. Clearly made.
I want to see him work, man, because I hear that he can. That he brings the heat. I've never seen him, on the Indies or,
New Japan. He was
New
in
Japan or any of that stuff. Like I've never seen any of his tapes.
I have not either. I would like to see what happens with him, and I would like to see how WWE treats him, because he's a big guy. WWE loves big, tall guys, and if he's a big guy that can work, fucking like they'll shoot him to the moon, So let's see what happens. But overall, I thought this was cool. Clearly, Solo's family tree was able to help him retain against Jimmy. Jacob comes out to make the save. We'll see what happens here. I love all this bloodline shit. I really do. I think Jacob's great. I think Jimmy's great. I think Solo's great. I'm in for Tongaloa. I'm in for Tama Tonga. I'm in all of it. I'm here. I'm here. Exactly. I'm here for it. Here to see what happens. I think they eventually throw Jimmy back into this, or not Jimmy, Jay. I think they throw Jay back into this mix to kind of make it a big deal. I think it'll be good stuff. And then we got LA Knight versus Seth freaking Rollins.
LA Knight has very much filled the Kevin Owens role of break glass in case of emergency. He's currently involved in feuds on both shows.
Yes.
And he's definitely the guy that he's rocking the workhorse status. Whether it be workhorse from the standpoint of being in the ring or just being involved in shit, he is the guy right now.
So, spoiler alert, Seth Rollins gets hurt during this match, which really takes the wind out of the sails of the rest of this show. Apparently, it just, even after all the hubbub around it, they still needed to fill up 8 minutes of show at least. And so what happens is, Seth does, the first springboard thing, and what is a springboard, it's like a back elbow or something, and then he gets up, or no, anyway, he gets up, and I sent you the clip because Stevie Richards looked at it, and it looked like the first springboard he did and the way he landed tweaked the knee. Actually hurt was actually what hurt, because he gets up and he does a little stutter and he's not quite sure on his feet. And then he does the next springboard, which is the backflip to do the moonsault, but LA Knight gets up and he has to land on his feet, which is a very Seth Rollins sort of segment, right?
Right.
It's a springboard into a hit, into a springboard, into a moonsault that's not going to hit, and Seth Rollins lands on his feet to get up and throw a forearm or whatever he does. And so he landed on his feet, and his knee buckled, and he went down like a ton of bricks, just boom. And it was a what the fuck kind of thing. And he immediately crawls to the corner. LA Knight goes to hit him. Ref calls him off. And everybody's like, what the fuck is going on? It couldn't be more than 30 seconds of calling over Paul Heyman, discussing what was about to go on, calling over the referee. Seth goes, I can go, I can continue. Seth hobbles to his feet, takes a BFT, 1, 2, 3, rolls out of the ring. LA Knight looks pissed as hell.
Yeah, he does. He was out there. He's like, fuck, like you could see that he was angry.
If you look back at the Seth Rollins being helped out of the ring, Seth is inconsolably like, fuck this, fuck, God, fuck, like just so mad and just being carried out of the ring by medical staff and what have you. And it's just like terrible, a terrible moment, because for a guy that's had a lot of knee, like he's had a lot of knee problems. And then watching both moves in like a slow motion, it was bad news bears is what it was. And it was not the best thing. That being said, man. So tonight, Paul Heyman they were like, oh, Paul Heyman's going to have a thing. And Paul Heyman's thing was like, Seth Rollins has until next year to cash in like June. If we can bump up to that, we'll discuss that at that point. But until then, Braun Breaker is going to be the next world championship. He's going to be the next world champion, as is this man, and pointed it, Bronson Reed to be like, this is going to be like these guys are the future, and I'm here with the future.
Okay, kind of so I want to obviously BFT happens, and then we get out of this. I want to circle back to Seth Rollins. I don't want to get too far down this rabbit hole because I feel like there's a lot that we need to discuss pertaining to Seth Rollins, Paul Heyman, Braun Breaker, and Bronson Reed. So let's just wrap up Saturday night's main event here. And
all right, so the main event is Gunther versus Goldberg.
It was good to see Ernest the Cat Miller get to walk him out to the ring. I'm pretty sure that's who that was, right? Yeah.
It was Ernest the Cat Miller. It was Ernest Miller. It absolutely was.
He looked great, man. He's got to be like in his 70s.
Homie looks like 5 years older than the last time we saw him.
And I love the fact that they had the head of WCW security there. Like all that was cool. That was all that was awesome.
It was all the right people, is what it was. So yes,
we just needed Rufus.
He's been dead for at least a decade.
Ralphus
has been dead for at least. Honestly, they should have had Chris Jericho there in a Ralphus shirt. Just a white T-shirt that said Ralphus in like Sharpie.
Well, I mean, he certainly wasn't at all in.
Which is why he should have been there. Anyway, maybe they tried. That would be the story if they tried. So Goldberg comes out, does the Goldberg entrance. It kind of gave, as somebody who doesn't like Goldberg, still kind of gave me chills.
Yeah, it was. I mean, I'm not a giant Goldberg guy, but like, if you look at his body of work and what he meant to the Attitude Era, the Monday Night Wars,
what he meant to he was the greatest WCW champion of all time.
Magdalene says Kevin Nash should have been in the crowd with the stun baton.
If only.
Well, then they would have had to have played the cheesy thing over the loudspeaker, like they did in that WCW pay-per-view.
Man. Anyway, they got the best Goldberg match ever out of Goldberg. That was the best match Goldberg has ever had.
Yeah, because Gunther fucking worked his style. He called his match, and it made Goldberg look like $1 million fucking bucks.
$1 million. It was. my expectations for this were very low, especially
me too.
Especially Seth coming out of like Seth getting hurt and them having to make up time. But good God, if they didn't fucking do it. Like, I realized there was extra. Everybody walked a little slow on their way to the ring. Like, they milked it a little bit. But
I mean, they gave Goldberg his proper full entrance from the locker room through the tunnel. Yeah, but, you know, I mean, they gave it what it deserved. And like I said, Gunther fucking called an epic match. And made Goldberg look like $1 million. I don't think that in the entirety of Goldberg's career that he's ever been put in a situation with an opponent that worked that type of style that could still make him look like $1 million. It's always had to have been fucking throw, spear, jackhammer, pin. It's anytime he's tried to work a match, it's not ended well. Look at the Undertaker match. Now, granted, that's two guys that are fucking well past their prime, trying to have a match that they would have been able to have had in 1999. But you know, they both came out of that match worse for the wear. Like, Taker could have died in that match.
Taker almost fell on his head twice.
Yes, do you know what I mean? And like
he blocked
But in reality, that should have been this type of match. And for whatever reason, they went out and they tried to work hard. And I'm not saying that Gunther didn't work hard, but he has a very similar style, like the intensity level that Goldberg had. It's just slowed all the way down.
Yeah.
Right. And Goldberg fell into Gunther's pace. And the way that Gunther the way that Gunther calls a match and the way that Gunther paces a match. It was a Gunther match from top to bottom.
Absolutely.
And Goldberg was the sole beneficiary from how that match was paced and called.
When Gunther gave Goldberg a hell of a chop. Like, let's give Goldberg credit where credit is due. Gunther slapped the shit out of him.
Oh, he chopped the fuck out of him.
That
picture that's circulating the internet right now is awesome. The one where Goldberg's kind of smiling as he's getting fucking laid into. And like you can see Gunther's just and Goldberg's chest is like blah.
Yeah.
And Goldberg's like
yeah. He was like but like he came out of it like awake. And he came out of it like he unsold it. He didn't sell it. Like he half sold it because you knew it hurt, but like he knew that he wasn't supposed to sell it, and he just like he smiled and was like and you were just like it sucked everybody. You felt the room get sucked in at that moment, and everybody went, "Oh fuck." And it was like, there were people going in. There's like, Goldberg's going to win, right? Like, we know Goldberg's going to win. And it was like, you and I were straight up like, Goldberg's not winning. This is his retirement match. But also, like,
I mean,
nobody can call a better match.
I wouldn't have put it past them to put this title on Bill Goldberg. Like, I really wouldn't.
Look, if it was Vince, yes, but it wasn't.
And then, like, today, the internet was in an uproar that he didn't win this match. It's like, wow, why did Bill Goldberg lose his last match? Because that's what they're supposed to do.
You're supposed to lose.
You're supposed to go out looking at the lights.
Yeah. You're supposed to leave and go, I love you all. Thank you. It was his literal best match. I've watched probably most of Goldberg's matches.
Well, yeah, because I mean, his entire body of work is like a 15-minute highlight reel.
But also, I was a mega fan during all 15 of those minutes.
Listen, I had the shirt, bud. You know, with
Yeah.
the thing, with the thingy thing and the thing on the thing. Like I had the shirt. Okay,
Yeah.
I was here for it. But he was still second best black tights, bald head. I'm sorry.
He was. No, you're sorry. Okay. I mean, it was, but this was his like best. They got it at like Gunther was there, and I'm sure. Look, we're never gonna see the like. Maybe we will 15 years from now. Hey, Bill, this is gonna be like that. You're gonna see the like the Gunther like Bill. This is gonna be your best match ever. I'll make sure of it. Like you'll get the Gunther like cockiness, but also the like, we're gonna have the best match you've ever had. You're welcome. Kind of like, not only like I'll take care of you kind of thing, but like in the same sense of like, you're welcome that that I'm the one. I'm the guy.
Yeah.
And it'll be produced by WWE. They'll save the footage. That's what they do the best. They save the footage. They already have it. It's on a thumb drive. They're gonna hide it. They're gonna bury it. 10 years, 15 years from now, they're gonna dig it up. As the greatest of Gunther, probably. It's his AEW, or it's his AEW, his WWE Hall of Fame like induction. Bill, don't worry, I got you.
Yeah.
This will be your greatest match because I've got you. I've got it.
It was great. And, you know, I mean, the result was correct. And like I said, I wouldn't have put it past them to have. But kudos to Goldberg on a career, huh?
Right? I mean, what a like ups and downs, but at the same time, as far as like a monster, like to be able to go out, he's probably the first guy to be able to go out like this, right? Because like there's been a lot of like really dominant guys, but for a really dominant guy to go out in this fashion is, you know, it's basically been him and the Undertaker, right?
Yeah, and I think that the choke out finish was perfect.
Yeah, and that kudos to him for being like, yeah, whatever finish you want to do. And it was like, he's gonna choke you out. Well, I've never been choked out. Yeah, but you're gonna be.
And you're not gonna submit. You're just gonna get choked out.
You're just gonna pass out. That's gonna be the end.
I think that was the best possible ending to his career.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. It was the correct send off. They gave him what he wanted, without giving him too much. It was correct. He was waiting for Bill, and he got him, and he took him out.
He was waiting for Bill.
And I know Gunther said something tonight, probably towards the end of the show. I haven't seen it yet. Probably great. Gunther is amazing.
Yeah. He was definitely the right man for the job. And again, kudos to Goldberg on calling it a career on his terms. Kudos to Gunther for sending him off in spectacular fashion. And most importantly, kudos to Triple H and WWE for not fucking fumbling that. However, things that were fumbled, you know, obviously there's going to be a hard reset coming out of Saturday night's main event with the injury to Seth Rollins and the implications. What in the... Oh, that's why. The implications that he controlled, you know, and you kind of touched on it that Paul Heyman came out and said, hey, man, he's got until June next year to cash this thing in. But I just don't know how that's going to play out. I don't know how that's going to work.
They're
Triple
hoping
H
for the best, but
Triple H said after Evolution on the post-match presser that Seth was there to support Becky, but he
on
is
crushes.
but he said something about that it's along the lines of it's not good. He used a big smart word, and then said that Seth Rollins' injury at this point is inconclusive. So they've definitely had the tests done, I'm sure, and they'll probably know something on Monday or today or tomorrow. And
So
I'm assuming that will be made public at some point.
My understanding of all of it is that there's a 48-hour like sort of fallout from just swelling to be able to like actually get a good result to where they can say, this is what's torn, this is how we fix it, this is what the path forward is. We are not far enough out yet. Like we were far enough out, like an hour ago. And so maybe like they read the results at the minute, right? But that was, an hour ago. We were 46 minutes into what we're doing already. So like it's not been enough time. We will get a result probably tomorrow, maybe the next day, certainly by the end of the week, probably maybe on SmackDown, just to say what happened, what it is. Did he tear something? Did he tweak something? Is it a sprain? Is it a tear? Is surgery necessary? We'll find that out probably next week. Hopefully, I'm here as a Seth Rollins mark. I'm hoping that it's like, all right, 6 months, he'll be back. I hope it's not 12 to 18 months, because surgery, recovery, rehab, rebuild, metal discs, whatever it is, that's worst case scenario, right?
Yep.
Well, worst case scenario is like, oh no, fucking he doesn't have a knee anymore, it's fucked. 4 years, because fucking we gotta chop everything off, put a whole new one in, made of steel and metal and titanium, and knees are hard, guys. We're not quite there yet, despite 15,000 years into the species. Knees are bad designs, and we have to redesign a knee for this guy because he does stupid shit with his knee. Yeah, again. So I don't know.
I mean, he's 39 years old. Like, at what point do we look at the volatility of his lower half?
Dude, that spot that fucked up his knee hurts my knee every time he does it, because he does it like on a semi-weekly, like,
he does it a million times a year. There's no question about it.
That like, oh, I'm going for a moonsault. Oh, he kicked it. He got up. I need to land on my feet. Like, that shit's insane.
I just don't. And the thing about it is, it's not like he got hurt and he's just on the outside looking in like he was 6 months ago. I mean, he's holding the briefcase. Like, he's got the key to the castle. And I mean,
next year,
future storylines have been crafted around him in his availability,
and
derailed for a fourth time in his stellar career.
Go on, I have to pee.
And like, I just don't know what we have to do. I mean, it's got to be something. And I myself am a giant Seth Rollins guy, right? Like, I enjoy Seth's work week in and week out. But at what point do we have to change this style that we're working? in order to make sure that we're available for our storylines that we're involved in. And the thing about it is, like, I don't want Seth Rollins to change, but clearly something's got to happen. We talked earlier about Trish Stratus and being the ageless wonder, but she works a style that she doesn't have to worry about those types of things. And Seth himself has even said in recent years that it's taken a toll on his body. So what does that mean for Seth Rollins moving forward? What does that mean for the Money in the Bank briefcase? Like, where are we going to be with the storyline? How are they going to craft things to fit Braun Breaker or Bronson Reed or both? We're left with a lot more questions than we are answers, and I think that's a tough spot to be in if you're Triple H and WWE. And we've got to look at what we can do to find some continuity here without the Money in the Bank briefcase.
I could not agree more.
You have no idea what I said.
I heard like some of it. I cranked the volume. I can hear it.
But my question for you, though, coming out of this is, like, where do we land?
I think it depends on where Seth's knee injury lands. Because, like, if he can come back, so let's say it's a 6-month injury. So let's say we don't see him for 3-4 months. And then he comes back and he's in a knee brace, with crutches, or they wheel him out in some dramatic fashion in like a throne that rolls or something weird. Like we can get weird with it, but let's say that like they just let Seth talk in a weirdly corrected, like we talked last week about the last Black Sabbath Ozzy Osbourne show where like Ozzy sat in a throne. Maybe you give Seth a throne and just let him talk for 3 months while he rehabs. Let's say it's a 6-month thing. Let's say it's a quick surgery repair, hopefully, and it's like, all right, well, we're going to rehab this now. We're going to surgery this week, rehab it. 6 months from now, you'll be fine. So he'll be back, early next year to be able to wrestle after rehab and stuff. But like, in theory, you could stand there or sit there for a while and talk,
I mean, they did it with Randy Orton back in the day. They did it with Stone Cold Steve Austin back in the day.
Yeah. 4 or 5 months from now, like 4 months from now, you could, you can stand there and talk. 3 months from now, you can sit there and talk. And even if it's a matter of like, maybe he's the big surprise around the holidays and they wheel him out in a throne or something and just let him talk. I'm back. Did you miss me? Kind of a thing. And it doesn't have to be like anything serious. Like, he hobbles in crutches. They drive him in. He sits there. He chills out. He chills in the chair. He's doing rehab and whatever every day, but like he just chills in the chair. Everybody, talks in the chair. Give him a throne, whatever it needs to be. And then, come February, February, March of next year, which is still 3 months out from when this expires, he gets cleared. Hey, still have this. Remember me? Teases it and whatever, you get.
I don't even think he needs to tease it. I think he just needs to come back and cash it in.
Yeah, even that's
going to be the best shock value.
It could be either of those things, or maybe
I don't think he needs to be on TV at all. If he's hurt, he needs to be, and if he's going to make it back, then he needs to just pop up, boom, cash it in.
So I'm just saying, even the bringing him back is like, let's say it's 18 months, and he's not going to be able to cash it in. So you bring him back as early as you can and give him TV time, but like let him tease it. Like let him just sort of be, Maybe I will, maybe I won't. Maybe I'm coming back, maybe I'm not. And then, when it's coming close, it's like, oh, am I? And he can at this point, maybe he can stand up, maybe he can walk, maybe he can do things, maybe he hobbles, carries the briefcase or whatever, and then he teases it a few times, right? And then what if he gives it away? What if he gives it to Braun Breaker? What if he gives it to Bronson Reed? What if there's a third man? What if there's something you could go a lot of places with this, and you can dangle Seth Rollins out there, especially if he's not coming back, to actually wrestle. You can dangle him out there and just be like, is it going to happen? Is it not going to happen? What's happening? And you just don't let people know. And that's going to be the hardest part, is keeping it from the dirt sheets, right? And, with HIPAA, and what have you, and Seth being as kayfabe as humanly possible. Because, the first time they ever referred to him as Colby was on Cody Rhodes' podcast a month ago.
Right.
It's like, Colby. They're talking about Seth? They're talking about Seth. Why they call him Colby? They refer to him as Colby. And, so I think it adds a wrinkle of interesting, because there's a lot they could do with it. Do they cop out and just say, all right, well, he'll be back and it'll be fine? And so it's 6 months, and we're just going to hide him and forget about him until he shows up and fucking cashes in. And then we, rechange everything. And it's it just, a match made in heaven, more or less. Great. He's going to be hurt for 6 months, but instead of being hurt for 6 months, he's going to show up 6 months later, cash in, win. And, none of you are going to be any the wiser. Or, do we tease it a little bit? So I think there's a lot of ways they can go. They have a lot of options. So I appreciate them sort of holding, giving the poker face thus far and seeing where it goes.
Well, I'm really going to be really interested to see where we're at with this, as far as what his knee injury actually is. What they're going to do with Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker. I think that if anybody has a lot to gain from this, it's those two, because now they're paired up with Paul Heyman, and Seth Rollins isn't there kind of stealing the spotlight. I say that in air quotes, because they are now in a big time spot, in a big time role. And are they going to be able to pick up the ball and run with it? Because you want this faction to mean something, but your patriarch, your main figure, your tribal chief, it is down with an injury, and the entire faction is built around him and in his vision. Are you going to be able to pick up this ball and run with it?
I do expect them to at some point have a tag team title reign. Just out of the blue, sort of. And it may not be terribly long, and they may get screwed out of it, or whatever happens. So I hope this continues. I mean, clearly it continued tonight. So we'll see where it goes. But I hope they see this as sort of an opportunity and not a derailment.
Yes.
And not as well. Up in smoke now, boys. Braun, where's your red thing that says badass on the butt, so you can be the unpredictable badass? That's terrible. Don't do that. Don't throw Bronson Reed into obscurity and put him in a shitty tag team with I don't know, fucking, I don't even know. Who would they throw him in the tag team with?
Heath fucking Slater.
Heath Slater. There we go. So let's hope that this all goes well. Thus far, it seems to be, but we shall see. This is a make or break kind of moment, I feel like. And
100% for those two. Yeah, for sure.
And they kicked the can this week, but it's sink or swim.
Well, I will be waiting with bated breath.
Yes,
to see how they handle this little bit of pressure. Not
terribly.
Just them, but WWE creative in general. So,
and if they fuck it up, we'll be here to call it out.
We certainly will.
They fucked it up.
We certainly will, and
I'm
here for it either way.
Yes.
Well, buddy, I feel like we're down to just one final piece of business, and that's the world famous One Fall WrestleCast match of the week.
Right on.
All right, buddy, what's your match of the week?
You made it really hard for me this week. So, I mean, actually, both Prime Wrestling promotions made it really hard for me this week. My match of the week is the Intercontinental title match between Becky Lynch, the champion, Bayley, the competitor, and Lyra Valkyria, the former champion. That to me really, it kicked off Evolution, and I had the highest expectations for this match, and they exceeded it. It was fantastic. It was the best pacing of this pay-per-view. Premium live event, excuse me. Best pacing, and from there, I mean, it really only they all just tried to sort of follow this. They were like, nobody can follow us, and then everybody tried to follow and it really kicked it off, put everything at the right note, and set the night on fire. And then it was a fire moving forward. And but that to me was the match of the night. It was the match of the week. The main event would have been the better match had there not been the gimmick finish. While I appreciate it, while I love it, and I love a title change, it really, sort of was, in my opinion, the lesser match after that happened, because going in we didn't know, and it was, while it was a better shock value, I don't know that it made it a better match. The match of the night to me was the kickoff match for the Intercontinental title, and we're still getting the fallout of that, which is going to be more epic matches, whereas the fallout of the main event is, yes, another SummerSlam match, but now that I've seen it already happen, it's not as it's lesser, right? It's oh, we're gonna throw it back and all three of you at SummerSlam, and it's well, that's sort of the antithesis of what the Money in the Bank contract is supposed to be.
Yes,
I feel like. So yeah, that's my match of the week. It was the best pay-per-view of the weekend, the most condensed and highest quality, all killer, no filler, like I said earlier. And this kicked out of the gate. The kickoffs of the pay-per-views are always sort of my favorites. It's where are we going from here? And it's you got to start on the high note and then just keep building. And they really kicked it off hard. And while I feel like maybe it dipped a little bit after the kickoff, it was still everything over-delivered. And this really over-delivered, because I really have the highest expectations for this match. And it was fantastic.
Glad to hear it. My match of the week was Jimmy Uso versus Solo Sikoa for the United States Championship. I thought those two did a really, really nice job. Obviously, brother chemistry,
It was so much better than Jimmy versus Jay.
Yeah, dude, it really was.
Because we watched that together, and we were like, huh?
That was a That should have been the match that could have stole the entire WrestleMania weekend, and it just did not.
They did.
And we obviously talked about the MFTs and the C movie sequel. We'll see how all that plays out, but for this week, that was my match of the week.
Good stuff. I agree. I think that was probably my second match of the week. I think it was the match that stole Saturday night's main event. Unfortunately, due to the injury that we just spent 30 minutes talking about.
Yeah, because that match was really, really good between Seth Rollins and LA Knight.
It was great until it stopped, and then we were like, "Fuck."
And I mean, we could both argue that was the match of the week, even with the injury. But at the same point in time, I just don't think that that's a fair assessment.
It broke. It broke halfway through. There was at least 8 minutes left. It would have been ramped up and great. They were starting to hit their spots, and it fell apart. And it's disappointing more than anything. And hopefully, we get to rekindle some storylines out of it, despite some delays. But man, both of them seemed really disappointed.
Yeah, for sure.
Going out of it, because it was like this is a big spot for both of them, and it fell apart, and both of them seemed to just be like, "Fucking, that's my luck. God damn it," kind of a thing.
Yep.
And it's unfortunate. It really is.
So, T's and P's to Seth Rollins. Hopefully we'll get an update this week, and we'll know a little bit more. So, hey, if you're still rocking with us, man, we appreciate you. Go ahead and hit that thumbs up button. Maybe even consider subscribing if you haven't done so already. We would greatly appreciate it. To our audio folks, man, we appreciate you guys. Thank you very much for tuning in every week. Yeah. Check us out over on Twitter and Instagram at @1_FallWC. That's ONE. And as always, thanks for hanging out. It's all love. We'll catch you next week. One Fall WrestleCast. Dustin is the T.